Welcome back to Match Day Live. I'm Natalie Pike and we are dancing in the studio because City have won 4-0 against Norwich. Now, I'm dancing. There's another man in the studio that has been doing some serious dancing because he got the score prediction right. Sean Gota, how happy are you?
Oh, well, I'm really happy. I'm doing a little jig right now. I'm really happy. This is what we come to expect with City, you know, from attack to defense. I know there's so many players we could talk about, but I'm just going to quickly just mention my defenders there. I think keeping a clean sheet, being switched on, brilliant. Because I know we can get into all the attacking players.
Oh, yes, we will. But we want to give a mention to the fans as well, Andy. How loud were the away fans? For the whole game, we heard them singing non-stop.
Phenomenal, you know, and it's, listen, I think it's a reflection, really, you know, of this season. Games I've watched, I've mentioned it on social media. It's phenomenal, you know, whether it's an evening game, whether it's a Monday night game, whatever it is, they're there in their thousands, and the support. And I know what it means to the players. They've gone across them at the end and acknowledged them. You know, it means a lot. It's a massive part, especially when the games are coming so thick and fast. You need that 12th man.
Absolutely incredible away support, every single one of you. The singing was phenomenal. Just what an incredible night. I so enjoyed that game, Sean. It felt comfortable for most of the game, but I mean it in a most respectful way.
Yes, it was. First half, the second half was almost similar in that we started really well. You know, that, I don't know, 15 minutes or so, we were really at the races. And the second half sort of mirrored that. We were really at the races in the early parts of the second half and how we got going and started producing goals. But Raheem Sterling goes away with a hat-trick. Really pleased. Perfect hat-trick, you may say. We'll get into that. But listen, I'm pleased for him because, again, I think he showed real maturity in his game and his performance.
So we came out in the second half. It was 1-0 there, Andy. And then within 2 minutes, we got that all-important second goal. It was a corner, short corner. And what I loved about it is that it went to Foden, the perfect cross across to Diaz, who went in to Sterling. The play was just beautiful, and then the finish with his head, we'll note.
Yeah, it's a part of City's set plays, the way they set up. You know, they do play a lot of short corners, and if you go into the box on one, then you've got your zonals, you've got your blockers. It's very hard to get anything on that. But they move the ball, and then the picture changes in the box. There's a lot going on that we don't see. The ball, Diaz is pulled around the back, and he's just too physically strong, too aggressive. Tremendous header and a tap in from Raheem. But it's something I've seen this season that City are using a lot. You know, trying to be quick as well on corners, trying to catch people out. Once they're set, very hard to get that first contact.
Is it fair to say, Sean, that's a really key goal as well? You know, that second goal early in the second half.
Yes, because I think it makes us more settled. Because as long as it's 1-0, Norwich just feel just stay in the game. Perhaps you could pinch one and cause an upset, but that second goal then settles us down. And what I like in regards to that game, in regards to that goal, is Raheem Sterling is switched on to think, hey, this ball's coming back across. That is what I'm thinking as a striker. That ball goes far post. I'm now going back in for that ball that comes across around that 6 yard to tap in, and Raheem is there for it.
I realise actually we've talked about Raheem's second. We've missed out the actual second goal. So that was the third goal that we've just talked about. Oh, I'm looking down at my notes. I got all too excited. So that was the third goal we're talking about. The second goal was the Phil Foden goal. My apologies. The Phil Foden goal, you were particularly impressed in that one, Andy, with the Gundogan involvement in it.
Yeah, his movement's so clever, and we see it, and you know it looks simple movements, and you think that any player, it's basically just pulling off the shoulder into a little space to the left and right of the 18-yard box, and he does it so well. And he did it in the first half. We mentioned it a couple of times, but it's just his perception of space and time, and he gets the timing right. He doesn't go offside, and then I think it looks like a bit scrappy, but there's actually some great feet in there from Phil Foden. He actually drags the ball with his right foot, moves it, and gets his shot off when it looked like it's dead. So he still had the composure at that last moment, and that was the key. That is the key goal for me. You know, I think the stats that we saw in the first half was it 14 times we've been 2-0 up, and we haven't lost a game, and we got on to win it. So that's phenomenal. And then there's a belief there at 2-0 that it's going to be very, very difficult to get back into to any game against City.
Yeah, one of the stats I saw was something like 20 shots we had at that time. It may have been about 15, 20 minutes left. but 20 attempts, and I think it was 7 on target. It was showing that we were just really going and really pushing to go from even 2-0 and increase it. So please, I got my prediction right. Yeah.
He predicted 4-0 if you weren't aware of that yet. So that was the second. We talked about the third. And then before we go on to the fourth, I just want to mention the 3 substitutions that were made. So 74th minute, McAtee comes on. Then 81, Delap comes on. And then 83, Keiki comes on. The 3 youngsters coming off the bench, Andy, we love to see it.
Absolutely. I think every club wants to see their youngsters coming through and show that the line is continually. We've seen Foden, Palmer come through, and we're starting to see that now. The future of the club, and what a great opportunity at 4-0. The pressure's off. They can go and express themselves. There's no fear of them making a mistake. That's going to cost. That might set them back a bit. Perfect scenario, and the 3 substitutions are bringing players out as well. That gives them that. It's a big effort. When game after game after game, and them lads that have come off the pitch. It's just as important for them to get that rest.
I mean, for me, Delap, probably more a traditional centre forward, will stay up there, be a bit of a nuisance, but has great ability and an eye for goal. So, really good to see him get some minutes. McAtee is one that it's just quality on the ball, and the more minutes we'll see, we'll see him receive balls like we see Foden in these tight areas, and we think, how are these guys really controlling the ball in such tight spaces? He has that ability about him, and Kiki didn't quite get into it as much, but a great dribbler, one-on-one. So we look forward to seeing more of these, but absolute brilliant that we can get these guys on, get minutes.
And it may only be sort of 15 minutes, 10 minutes that they're getting, but they were making an impact. So Delap involved in the penalty, Sean.
Yes. And again, what I've come to know and seen in the academy, these players, all the way through they understand the system. So when they come into the first team, there may be a higher level of intellect in terms of certain things because they're now dealing with Pep. But the basic foundations of how City play, they're taught this. So Delap has played his part, and he'll be smiling knowing that, yeah, I'm here, and I'm showing Pep this is what I'm here to do as well.
And then Raheem Sterling steps up, Andy, to take the penalty. He misses the penalty, but gets the rebound. It's all that matters, right? The goal came. And
the left-footed finish, which gives them the perfect hat-trick. So, great. It puts a gloss on it, and that, again, lays the marker down, and now over to you, Liverpool tomorrow. They keep doing it. Like I spoke about at the start, it's relentless. It is relentless, this football club and this team in every single game. The same standards, the same level of intensity, the same quality we're seeing, whatever 11 are going onto the pitch. And I think it's what's expected because we have to be fighting on all fronts. There's no nights off. There's no games off. The manager wants to win everything. So them levels of performance, again, I find it remarkable that they keep turning out these performances like in the Premier League, game after game after game, when you've seen how difficult it is in other teams to hit these runs. And we've done it last season, we're doing it again this year, and long may it continue.
I just have to piggyback on that because often managers will say, we want to go on a good run. In our time of playing, managers say if we can go on a good run, and that may be 5 to 8 games in terms that's wins and draws. But this team is so capable. We're seeing what they've been able to do, go 18 games or 20 games, like sort of just consistently winning. They just really set a new standard. And in all fairness, Liverpool are trying to match that, which is great in terms of for neutral. But from City's point of view, the consistency. I can tell you, Pep will do an interview and his mind will be, on to the next one. It's like, we've done the job we came to do. I think it's Everton the next league game. I know we've got the Champions League game. But his mind will be thinking, okay, when it comes around to that Everton game, okay, how can we put the best team out there to win that game? It's just on to the next one. And this is how these guys are so consistent.
The 4 goals today as well, Sean. We were sort of talking between ourselves about the importance of that goal difference. Is that something you think we should still be looking at? You think the goal difference is key?
I think it's key from the point that if we take that out of the equation, because we are that team that's capable of scoring 100 goals or 100 plus goals, and we can take that out of the equation, which then puts even more pressure on the chasing teams to say, well, if you're gonna come to win this, you've got to beat us by points. And right now, we're just putting more pressure. And as Andy said, it's over to you, Liverpool. What do you got?
I love that. Absolutely love it. So Liverpool play tomorrow, as we mentioned. So, yes, 4-0 win for City. this evening, and I just absolutely loved it. Right, we're going to do our Who's Stat now for you. So we've given you 3 clues up until now. We're going to show you the clues again, and then we're going to reveal the player. So clue 1 was the player has scored a winner in a cup final for City. Clue 2 was that the player came through an academy renowned for picking players from one particular region. Now, this stumped us. None of us can get clue 2. Clue 3, the player represented one country at youth level, but changed allegiances at senior international level. So, any guesses, gents?
I mean, we were talking off her, and you gave me a little bit of a clue.
I don't think I'm right.
Yeah, and Raheem Sterling is someone that comes to mind, but I guess I'm stumped.
Me too. I'd have to stick Yaya out there, but I'm really struggling.
So I thought Raheem because he scored in Watford, and I know he was born in Jamaica, but then he came to England when he was very young. So I don't think it is Raheem. So we're all stumped. We're all stumped. Obviously, Laporte changed nationality, but the other ones, I can't. Did he? Yeah. No. So we don't know in the studio. So who's stat? It is Aymeric Laporte. Right, Jen. So, Laporte must have scored in a cup final. Maybe it was the League Cup final. Was it the League Cup final?
Probably the League Cup final.
Against Tottenham!
I would not have got that.
Header. Yeah.
Yes, brilliant. Well,
Producers, well done on that one.
well done, producers. You
Yes.
absolutely stumped us. Producers have won today. We'll get them back on the next game. And that next game is going to come thick and fast because on Tuesday night, it is back to the Champions League. I cannot wait. We will be taking on Sporting Lisbon. It is the away leg of the game. Shout out to all those Blues that are going over there as well. It's going to be an absolutely incredible trip. Right, let's have a look at Sporting's journey so far.
Welcome to the Estadio Jose Alvalade Stadium in Lisbon. Sporting backed by a raucous crowd eager to witness Champions League football here again. Oh, how Tottenham Goncalves could be onto it, he is! And Pedro Goncalves pops up with the goal that puts Sporting in front. Oh, it's a good ball! Great chance! Fine finish. Mourinho goes himself, took on the shots and finds the target. Vitesse Price in, and goal number 4 from Pablo Sarabia. And here again, it's Pedro Gonçalves once more, and takes it wonderfully. Goncalves again! Oh, what a strike that is! That was a rocket from Pedro Goncalves.
Manchester City.
Lovely ball up in the Cancelo! And City lead.
So that was Sporting Lisbon's journey to the next stage of the Champions League Tuesday night, of course, against us. Gents, I cannot wait for the Champions League to start again. Andy, what are you expecting from the tie?
I expect a tough game. You know, it's over, obviously, 2 legs, making sure that you don't lose it in the first leg. You know, they'll go there expecting to get a positive result, but you know, this is a team that finished above Borussia Dortmund. If we were playing Dortmund, I think people would be a lot more concerned. They'd be worried about the strength of that team and their history. The fact that Sporting, maybe people are not taking it so serious, but I'm mindful they finished above Dortmund. So, you know, it's obviously going to be a challenge.
Obviously, it's the last 16, so every tie is going to be difficult, Sean. We've got to be expecting a tough game.
Yeah, it'll be a tough game. I mean, the thing is, though, Pep Guardiola, he just seems to look at things through a different set of glasses and figures out just how to beat opposition. He'll have a look at them and see how we can get them, but more importantly, it'll be how that we stick to our game. And this is the information you'll pass on, and we'll be up for that. We'll be ready for it, and we'll deal with it.
And we are up for it, aren't we? It feels like the whole club is really up for it. You know, I don't want to say, it's got to be our year this year, Andy.
No, I never ever, not in the Champions, I'd never ever stick your neck out and say it because it's so difficult. It means that Bayern Munich Barcelona, Real Madrid, Juventus, United, Liverpool, they've all got to fail. And it's a cup competition, and the knockout phase. I believe, like I said, and I'm obviously speaking through blue tinted glasses. If it was a league format and it was the top 2 teams right across Europe and there was 24 teams, City win it. For me, they win it. But when it comes down to key moments, VAR, refereeing decisions, it's a knockout competition. So, fingers crossed, you hope it's your year. Simple as that.
What have we got to do then, Andy? If we're focusing on ourselves, what have we got to make sure we do in this next game?
Our preparation has got to be meticulous, and leave no stone unturned to make sure they'll do that. The analysis, everything will be in place, ready for this game, and it's one game at a time. We spoke about it earlier on. Was going to jump in and say, if Pep had said 16 games ago, we're going to win 15 and we're going to draw 1, everyone would say it's a big ask. But what you can do is win the next game. Just win the next game, and then before you know it, you build this patterns that City have done, and it's always about this next game, never looking too far ahead. And Sporting falls into that category now. If we come back there, and we haven't lost the game, the away goals have obviously changed now; they're gone, so that's irrelevant. Come back here on a level playing field, we'll have too much for them.
I'm just going to flip it on its head. If you're Sporting and you've now got to play Man City, it's a very difficult game. So Sporting are a good team, but they would not want to be playing Man City because they all know that Man City are a really good team. So are we up for it? Without a shadow of a doubt.
Oh, we're up for it. I cannot wait for it to come quick enough. The Champions League means so much to us. We've actually can hear now from Pablo Zabaleta on what taking part in the Champions League meant to him.
Well, that was an amazing moment for everyone, for the players, the staff, and the fans. We cannot forget how difficult it was at the beginning when the new owners came into the club and they just started to bring top players and to invest into the team. And we knew it was going to take time to play the Champions League football, but obviously when we got through and we qualified for the quarterfinal of the Champions League against Kiev, was an amazing moment for everyone. So then, everyone was so proud at that time.
So that's Pablo Zabaleta talking about the first time the club qualified for the quarter-finals of the Champions League, obviously, that he was involved in. It's a wonderful interview that we have with him there, and we will be showing you some more of that on the show on Tuesday before the Sporting game. Now, that show starts a little bit earlier, so you can join me from 6:45, and I'll have guests David James and Nadem Anua alongside me then. I just cannot wait, Sean. The Champions League it feels like it's really grown with us over the kind of last 10, 11 years, and the kind of excitement and the kind of joy of it has grown within the club and the fans as well. And now we just can't wait for the game on Tuesday.
No, we can't. And, I think with the experience that we've had over those years, even with regards to getting to the finals, the players will now be looking forward to sort of minimum standards of saying, why can't we get to the finals again? Because they know what it takes to get there. They know how difficult it will be. As Andy said, there's no givens because they're all quality teams. But that experience will hold them in good stead in terms of knowing these stages are what needs to be done to get past the stage and advance.
And for me, Andy, part of the reasons I love for the Champions League and my hope that we go all the way in the Champions League, I really want the recognition for the club, for the players, for the manager, for the fans that have been supporting the club for their whole lives. I want that moment so badly for everybody involved with this club.
Yeah, I think you've said everything there, Nat, and I think that's across the board. There's so much hard work right from the very top, so many people in so many areas. The club's striving continually. All a fan can want, a footballer at a football club, is the club is striving to improve. And year on year, the club are trying to find every little percent to improve and be better. And you would say that the top of that tree would be winning the Champions League, but it shouldn't be what the club's judged on, because what the records that have been broke season on season, again, they keep raising the bar. And yes, it would be. It would, and everyone would get that. And then the people would say, you've got to win it twice. That's the only thing. We know that's coming.
And the Man United fans would say, oh, you've not won the treble. Yes, we know that. But hopefully one day we will get the moment. Gents, thank you so much for joining me. It's always a pleasure. Andy Morrison, love your analysis. Thank you so much. Sean, you got it bang on again. 4-0. What a day. Sean predicted it right. Thank you so much. Pleasure. Always a pleasure. Thank you for joining me. And thank you to you all for joining us today. Thank you for watching Match Day Live. So City have beaten Norwich 4-0. I do hope you enjoyed that. I'm sure you did, but probably not as much as Raheem Sterling, who got a perfect hat-trick this evening. I'll be back with you on Tuesday night as we take on Sporting Lisbon in the Champions League. I'll see you then.